you thinking of moving to Hampton Roads, Virginia? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Chesapeake, Virginia. That way you can get a good idea of whether or not Chesapeake is a good fit for you. And if you stick around until the end, one of the cons might really surprise you. We're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Hampton Roads, Virginia, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Hampton Roads. I get calls and texts every single day from people just like you looking to make their move to Hampton Roads, and I love it. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. I'm happy to help you make that smooth move to Hampton Roads. Alright, let's take a stroll through Chesapeake, Virginia, and see why it's not just another city. It's like nature decided to show off a little bit here. Chesapeake is kind of an outdoor lover's dream. There's parks everywhere. Oak Grove Lake Park is absolutely gorgeous, perfect for those who like their walks with a side of stunning views. Not to mention there's quite a few lakes. Who wouldn't want to kayak in the Great Dismal Swamp? Might sound a little ominous, but it's actually pretty cool, trust me. And if you're into spotting birds or wildlife, the Great Dismal Swamp National Wildlife Refuge is your spot. It's like your own little wildlife safari. For my fellow trail lovers, Chesapeake's trails are also amazing. Biking, hiking, or just going for a thoughtful walk. It's all here. Chesapeake's trails are a real treat. Take the Dismal Swamp Canal Trail for example. It's not only historic, but also offers some pretty great views. When you're living in Chesapeake, it's like nature's right there in your backyard. So if you're thinking about moving here and you love the outdoors, you might just find your happy place. What do you think? Could Chesapeake be your next outdoor adventure? Chesapeake's outdoor beauty is incredible, but the real charm of this place goes beyond its parks and trails. It's in the community vibe, the kind of atmosphere families thrive in. Switching gears to community life in Chesapeake, it's all about family here. When I talk about neighborhoods, think Greenbrier and Great Bridge. They're safe, welcoming, and just the kind of places where you'd want to raise your kids. And the schools, Grassfield and Hickory High Schools, are top-notch. They're known for strong academics and great extracurriculars. Exactly what you want for a solid education. They're both ranked very high on greatschools.org and niche.com, which are the two sites I direct my clients to when they ask me about the schools in any area in Hampton Roads. Community events are big here too. You ever been to the Chesapeake Jubilee or the Great American Food Fest? They're the kind of events that bring everyone together for good times and great food. Need to shop, grab a book, or find a community program? Greenbrier Mall has a lot of shopping, not to mention the whole Greenbrier area. The Central Library is stacked with resources, and the South Norfolk Community Center is buzzing with activities for all ages. Chesapeake's more than just a place. It's a community, and families here are all about making the most of it. But there's another side of Chesapeake too. Let's talk about its growing economy and job scene next. Alright, let's shift our focus to the economic side of things in Chesapeake. Let's take a look at what's going on in Chesapeake's economy. The Greenbrier area isn't just about shopping, although there is a lot of that. It's turning into a real business hotspot. And let's talk about being business friendly. Chesapeake's rolling out the red carpet for businesses, big and small. There are organizations like Startwheel who are there to give a leg up to the new guys on the business scene. Job-wise, Chesapeake's got a bit of everything. From solid government jobs to these cool tech startups, it's a mixed bag. And it's not just jobs for the sake of jobs here. Chesapeake's big on creating the right job. That's where places like Tidewater Community College come in, tailoring skills to what's needed out there. TCC offers both online and in-person courses with a large variety of certifications and degrees. There's also campuses in Portsmouth, Virginia Beach, and Norfolk. And this economic growth, it's doing more than just padding wallets. It's about better roads, nicer parks, and just upgrading the day-to-day life. But Chesapeake isn't just about work and growth. Let's switch gears and talk about the lifestyle, the kind of stuff that makes life here more than just a daily grind. Alright, let's talk about living in Chesapeake. And I mean really living, not just existing. In Chesapeake, it's all about quality of life. There are amenities that make everyday life better. Take City Park, for example. It's not just a patch of grass. It's a place for concerts, picnics, horseshoes. There's a skate park, basketball, you name it, they've probably got it. Shopping and dining, Chesapeake's got it all. Greenbrier Mall and Chesapeake Square are like little mini cities by themselves. Great for shopping or just hanging out. And there are restaurants galore, from seafood to barbecue and everything in between. Chesapeake's got it all. Personally, I'm a big steak fan, specifically ribeyes, that's my favorite. And the Butcher's Son in Chesapeake ranks right up there in probably the top 10 steaks that I've had. Have you been there? Let me know what you thought in the comments. Healthcare and, as I mentioned before, the schools are also top notch here too. They're a big part of what makes Chesapeake a place where people aren't just moving to, but staying and thriving. And for fun, there's always something to do. Whether you're into sports, hitting the gym, or just enjoying a day out at Oak Grove Lake Park, Chesapeake's got you covered. So for folks thinking about a move to Chesapeake, here's the lowdown. It's a city where the living is easy, the community's strong, and there's always something new to explore. So we've talked about the great lifestyle in Chesapeake, but there's another ace up its sleeve, the location. Chesapeake sits right in the middle, right in the sweet spot of Hampton Roads. You've got Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and even Suffolk just a hop, skip, and a jump away. It's perfect for work, play, or a quick beach day. One thing to keep in mind, Chesapeake's pretty big. There's quite a few areas in Chesapeake that I've referenced so far. There's Deep Creek, Great Bridge, Greenbrier, South Norfolk, yes, that is Chesapeake, Western Branch, and then South Chesapeake, where the Hickory area is. For those commuting, Chesapeake's location is a big win. You've got easy access to the major highways, making getting to work or anywhere else in Hampton Roads pretty straightforward. And for the military folks, Chesapeake's also pretty close to some of the major bases. That means less commute time and more family time. But it's not just about getting around. Being central in Hampton Roads means Chesapeake gets the best of all worlds. Urban vibes from Norfolk, beach life from Virginia Beach, and a dash of Suffolk's rural charm. In short, Chesapeake's location is like hitting the jackpot for convenience and variety. Alright, that wraps up the pros. Now let's keep it real and talk about some of the challenges living in Chesapeake might bring. Stay with me. Alright, I've been singing Chesapeake's praises, but let's flip the coin and look at some of the challenges. No place is perfect, and Chesapeake is no exception. It's all about knowing what you're signing up for, right? First up on our cons list, traffic and transportation. If you've ever been on 64 around the 464, 168 interchange and the high-rise bridge during rush hour, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It can get pretty packed, and let's just say it's not the best part of anyone's day. And if you're thinking you'll just hop on a bus and skip the traffic, well, it's not that simple. Public transportation here could use some upgrade. Talking about limited routes and schedules that don't always fit with where and when you need to go. Depending where in Chesapeake you live and or where you're commuting. The congestion around the major bridges and tunnels like the downtown tunnel, the high rise, the Veterans Bridge, just to name a few, during peak times can be a real test of your patience. It's one of those things that locals learn to plan their day around. So yeah, getting around Chesapeake can be a bit of a hassle, especially if you don't live and work in the same area. But every city's got its issues, right? Let's keep going and see what other challenges Chesapeake has. Now let's talk dollars and cents. Specifically, the cost of living in Chesapeake. So here's the deal. Living in Chesapeake isn't exactly bargain bin pricing. When it comes to housing, we're looking at numbers that can climb higher than the national average. Take neighborhoods like Hickory and Great Bridge, for example. They're fantastic places to live, but you might need to dig a little bit deeper into those pockets to settle down there. You can get the picket fences, but they come with a price tag. And it's not just about buying a house. Renting also isn't the cheapest. Sure, you get a nice spot to call home, but your wallet might feel a little bit lighter. Utilities, groceries, and other day-to-day expenses tend to hover around or maybe just above what you might expect to pay in other parts of the country. But here's the thing, while the cost of living might be a bit steep, many folks find the quality of life in Chesapeake makes it worth the price. Alright, so Chesapeake isn't the cheapest city. Let's keep going and see what other surprises this city has in store. As with the whole region, this one you could kind of consider a pro or a con depending on how you look at it. The weather. Summer in Hampton Roads, let's be real, it's very humid. You step outside and it's like the air's got weight to it. Great for beach days, maybe not so much for other outdoor activities. Not to mention hurricanes. They're part of the package here. From June through November, we keep an eye on the forecast. Part of coastal living. Preparing for the odd storm now and then. But Chesapeake's not just about humid summers and hurricane prep. Spring and fall are both pretty mild and comfortable. It's when the city looks its best in my opinion. Winter is usually pretty mild too. Snow's not a regular thing, but it makes a brief appearance every now and then. So Chesapeake's weather, it's a bit of everything. Some days are perfect, others a bit challenging, but that's just part of life here. Alright, next let's touch on something a bit more complex about living in Chesapeake. Suburban sprawl. Now, Chesapeake's been growing, which is great, but with growth comes sprawl. We're seeing new subdivisions and shopping centers popping up, especially in areas like Hickory and Deep Creek. It's a sign of progress, sure, but it's not without its hitch. One of the biggest issues is infrastructure. With more people and more houses, the roads, schools, and utilities are feeling the strain. You might have noticed heavier traffic on Battlefield Boulevard, or schools getting a bit more crowded. And then there's the environmental side. As Chesapeake expands, the lovely green spaces and farmlands that Chesapeake's known for are getting a bit squeezed. It's a balancing act between growth and keeping what makes Chesapeake, well, Chesapeake. So while suburban sprawl brings new opportunities and choices, it also brings challenges that we need to navigate. All right, let's shift gears and look at another aspect of Chesapeake that might make you ponder a bit. Moving on to a different side of Chesapeake, the nightlife and cultural scene, or more accurately, the lack thereof. Chesapeake is fantastic for families, no doubt, but when it comes to nightlife and cultural activities, it's a bit on the quieter side. If you're looking for a bustling nightlife like you'd find maybe in Norfolk or Virginia Beach, you might find Chesapeake a bit tame. There are some nice local spots, places like Big Ugly Brewing to grab a beer, or the occasional event at Chesapeake City Park. But if you're after big concerts or a wide array of live music or a variety of late night hangout, you'll likely be heading out of town. Although that's one of the great things about Hampton Roads. Norfolk and Virginia Beach aren't far. You can find virtually everything you want within about an hour, almost no matter where you live in Hampton Roads. It's the 7 cities, but it's almost like one big spread out city. And on the cultural front, Chesapeake's offerings are more low-key. Things like community theater and local art exhibitions, which are great, but you won't find the scale or diversity of cultural experiences that larger cities boast. So, for those who love a vibrant night scene or a rich tapestry of cultural activities, Chesapeake might leave you wanting more. But again, every city has its trade-offs. Alright, we've walked through the pros and cons of living in Chesapeake. On the pro side, Chesapeake's got beautiful natural spaces, a family-friendly vibe, a growing economy, and it's all in a location that's pretty hard to beat. But on the flip side, dealing with traffic, higher living costs, and limited nightlife and cultural activities are part of the package too. Ultimately, it all comes down to what you're looking for. Family life and a slower pace are your thing, Chesapeake could be a great fit. But if you crave constant hustle and bustle, you might find it a bit too laid back. So that's Chesapeake for you, a city with its own unique charm and challenges. If you're curious about living in Hampton Roads, Virginia, or have your own Chesapeake stories, let me hear them. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your experience. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights on Hampton Roads, Virginia living. I'll be covering more cities, so stay tuned for the next one. Who knows, the next city we explore might just be your future home. And remember, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. And until next time, talk to you soon.